Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. Hope you guys are doing well. This is gonna be another pro analysis for Survivor. This is a really good one because I think there was a lot of chases on this match here. But I selected this game because I like to show games where I actually make mistakes as well, because I know how to play like perfectly, but that doesn't mean because I know how to play perfect that I don't make mistakes. So. No, I'm human as much as you guys. So I think it's really good when I can get these games where like I play really well, but at the same time I make some mistakes, so then you guys can relate better and improve that way as well. I can comment on what makes the mistakes happen. So right there, there's not much you can do. Like when, a situation like that where there's only windows, you're gonna get hit eventually. There's not much you can do. Like because especially because the killer gets bloodless. So you see, as soon as I got hit, I used the boost to go to a strong area. That's what you always want to do. Always when you get hit, use the boost to go to a strong area if you can, of course. In this case, I had the right angle. So now two things here. I already noticed there's a pallet down there during this run. There's something I already noticed I have in my head. Now that window right there that I jumped first there is really good, and I noticed that this killer is not very good right there because he vaulted that window, which is really, not a very good idea. Now here I could have made it if I had Dead Heart, but because I'm playing Felix and I just prestige him, I don't have Dead Heart. But either way, it goes to show that like you can still like hold the killer for a pretty good time without you don't need perks to do that like Dead Heart or spin perks. Now something I could have done better here as well is instead of going like around to the right like I did, I could have gone left. Maybe I would have I would have distance enough that I could have even dropped that pallet without getting hit. Maybe, just maybe. But that was maybe something I could have done better there as well. Because you see that doctor was following me around until this point, and he was getting bloodlust all along. So that's really something you got to take into consideration. If you're just using windows, like the killer's gonna get bloodlust every 15 seconds. He's gonna get one level of bloodlust, and that one single level already can make a big difference on the chase. Right there, he was probably like bloodlust 2 or something, so which is like even more of a difference. So a few points I didn't comment on. You gotta notice like the surroundings. So like I mentioned, you always want to run to the strong areas as soon as you can, because that's when those are the areas that are gonna hold the killer. Like you're gonna make the chase last the longest. So you need to abuse that as much as possible. So if you know you're gonna get hit for free, don't even try 360 or whatnot. Or even if you do try 360, make sure after you get hit, you can like run to a better, use the boost to put yourself in a better area than the area that you started the chase on. That's pretty key in making your chases last long as well, is that you're actually using the strong areas of the map to your advantage whenever you go on a chase. This area right here is pretty much the strongest area of this map, besides Shack, of course. But because there's so many like very strong windows here. Now that window that he vaulted at the beginning of the first, I think the only window that he vaulted really, that I said it was not that super good. You can definitely use that window if if you have distance enough that you're like really anticipating, like you're vaulting way ahead of him. Because if you're both like vaulting at the same time, that's not a good window to vault, because he can go around to the left and there's a drop there. So before because you're gonna get like stunned, right, for dropping from the height. So if he goes around to the left and takes the drop, he can easily hit you before you get to a pallet or anything. So it's not an actual safe window, but if you have enough distance, kind of the way I had on him there, you can, it's something you can still use that window to preserve some pallets. But had he not vaulted the window, had he went around, I would not get hit because of what I just mentioned. I had enough distance to make that window, technically safe. But I would have to like use the pallet immediately. Probably that pallet that I'm kind of looking at right now in the camera. I would have to like straight ahead go for that pallet, because he would be super close at that point from not vaulting the window and actually going around and taking the drops to the left side there. Now this window right here that I'm vaulting is also one of the strongest, one of the windows that makes this area the strongest. A way you can tell how good a window is really how much the killer has to go around the window to keep the chase going. The bigger that this going around he has to do, the stronger the window is gonna be. So that's the thing you can use to evaluate what windows are best on a map. If you have no clue, you're just starting, you're new to the game or whatnot, and you want to figure out what's the best thing without me, actually showing you or telling you. This is just something you can use to evaluate right there. So right here, I could have gone to Shack like right now. That's something I could have possibly done better as well. Because like I said, if you stay in a windows like I'm doing right here, you're gonna get hit eventually. So right here, this is also a 50-50, so there's an easy chance of a hit right there. But I just ended up winning the 50-50 because he could like fake, he could have easily faked and cut me off on the other side of the window, and I would get hit there for free. Same thing here. Now at this point, he probably has like Ballast 1 at least, so easy hit for him. You cannot last that forever on just windows like that. Now again, I know the pallet is right there if I need it. Here at the bottom, and just this little square that I'm running around here is already a loop in itself. I could have easily, I kind of stopped there to make sure he was still following me, if you noticed that. But if I just kept running, I could easily loop this whole like square area twice before I had to use that pallet. The only reason why I stopped was because I was trying to play safer more than I was trying to play efficiently. Because playing efficiently sometimes there's risk involved to it. So that's not something you want to do. So like right here is a perfect example. He only hit me right there because of Bloodlust. So it really makes a big difference on the windows. And it's just, I wish there was like something that would tell you that the killer has Bloodlust active. Because it's hard to have in your head like 15 seconds, okay, he has Bloodlust now. It's hard to think of that, or just have that, time awareness during the chase itself, because you're already paying attention to so much other stuff. So I wish the devs would, in a way, either remove Bloodlust, or just let you know, like when you look at the killer, he has Bloodlust active, so to adjust your chase better. Because you just cannot chase the same way when he has Bloodlust active. It just doesn't work. So my mistake right there was really just not going for a pallet, honestly. But yeah, but this area is really strong, but it has very few pallets. You see, like the only like good pallet was that pallet at the bottom that I already used. And there's a pallet like right on top of me to my left here, but that pallet is not safe, especially against the doctor. So actually, the pallet at the bottom is actually not safe as well against the doctor. But if you use it with enough distance, kind of like I did there, he can't really go around it because you still have some, enough distance to where he can't. Because if he gets you stuck on that pallet, he can just shock you, and you won't be able to vault the pallet, and he just hits you for free essentially. But again, like right here, there's not much I can do. I'm going here because like I said, he has to go all the way around, and I'm already going this way, so that was a good window to use. And you see, he didn't vault to the window or anything, so he has to do something here. He has to make a big like around the structure to be able to get me here. So I'm in a good spot. Now this is the only problem, like when you lose line of sight of him, because now I have no idea where he is. I can only hear his heartbeat, but I have no idea. The best thing I can do in a scenario like this, when you don't have a clear view of the killer, is really just to judge by the sound of the terror radius. Like for example, if I ran to the right there and the sound gets louder, it probably means he's actually on the right and I'm running towards him. But if I run to the right and the sound gets weaker, not as loud, and I know for sure he's not on that side, and I'm running away from him. You see again, he vaulted that window. He can easily cut me up, go to the left there. And also because he didn't break this pallet, it actually makes it like even safer now, because I can just vault that pallet and he has to go all the way around to keep the chase going. And you see, this is an example, but there's multiple things he could have done better right there. He could have, you see right now I left that area and I'm on a safer pallet here. So I'm not having that much risk now. Now I'm gonna drop this pallet to be safe because he can keep shocking me, and that would force me to not drop the pallet. So I don't want that happening because I'm already injured. This is something like a kind of like a mindset shift you need to have. Like when I'm injured, I play differently than when I'm not injured, because I'm only one hit and I don't want to go down, right? So you need to take less risks when you're actually injured during the chases. Some people just play the same regardless if they're injured or not. I don't think that's actually a good thing, because you're just essentially making it easier for the killer. Now, this is a good example. He already has like really high bloodlust right now, so Someone already used shack, so I can't. There's no options for me there. Now you see how also another really good point. You see how I combo the two structures there with the pallet outside of shack and the window of shack itself. I was essentially comboing both structures together. So I'm looping the tree, but I'm actually planning on vaulting the window on shack. You know, the loop there on the tree that's on the floor, it's big enough that I can actually combo that way because he has to go all the way around. That gives me time enough to reach the shack window. Now that's actually the perfect example of what I mean between playing risky and playing safe. However, that was the most efficient. It was not the most safe play. But the thing is that I didn't know for sure if the shack pallet was there or not. So I was playing that window as if the pallet was there, and I kind of got fucked by that. But considering had we know for sure that the pallet on shack was not there. Playing that window was actually unsafe, as you saw right there, because as soon as he did a single mind game on that window, I was dead, just like that. So it would have been much safer to actually just stay on the loop on the tree and not try to play as efficiently that way. But yeah, guys, that's the video. Take care. See you guys at the next one.